Well, there's the man in the middle tonight, Pádraig Hughes from the Crossmaglen Rangers club in County Armagh, a man who incidentally also took charge of Dublin's win over Mayo in round 2.
Yeah, it's another big game for him. I think that you'll see that it's a very different game from that one. The conditions, the speed of the surface here in Croke Park, so it'll suit Dublin much better to get back to their home venue. And it's something that this Dublin team is built for playing on a surface like this. They're athletic all over the field. Even fellas coming off the bench, they move the ball quickly and they can cover the ground themselves really quickly. And this is something that Monaghan have to adapt to. A team that are used to playing in Ulster, cagier sort of conditions, smaller pitches. The fact that they've got 4 points on the board, they have that little bit of security that can go out and try a few things tonight.
Well, Dublin are going to be shooting into Hill 16 for the first half. Perfect conditions for a game between two of the unbeaten teams in Division 1 of the Allianz League. And we're about to find out if the Ulster champions Monaghan can beat Dublin in this competition for the first time in 10 years, or will the Allianz League specialists maintain their impressive start and make home advantage count once again.
Oh, well, already even before it started, Darren Hughes has moved from midfield into full forward there beside Conor McManus, so that's a statement of intent straight away.
It's an all-new look Monaghan midfield. Carl O'Connell alongside Kieran Hughes as the third round of the Allianz League gets up and running. Dublin playing in their traditional sky blue and navy colours from right to left as you look at it. And Monaghan already retreating into a defensive formation as they await Dublin's first attack. Man on the ball is Tomas Brady. This is Emmett O'Keneela, invited to run hard at Monaghan's 45-yard line, but plenty of defenders blocking up that particular avenue of attack, and away goes Carl O'Connell. He's got lightning pace and he's not afraid to use it. Nice ball in over the top for McManus, who was trying to get away from David Byrne, and there was a tug on his jersey. Now, David Byrne had his hands full with the Monaghan captain here in last year's league semi-final, and that is a very worrying start for him here again. Yeah, that's the perfect start for Monaghan, really. You know, they defended well, swarmed around the ball. Keneela, the ball carrier, created the turnover. Carl O'Connell moved forward one to start.
That's a nice one. Particularly, they had a couple of issues with free taking in the first 2 rounds of the league, but that was probably more to do with the conditions, because usually Monaghan's free taking is exceptional.
Quickly taken restart from Cluxton, and now Cian O'Sullivan back in the Dublin team tonight. Nice crisp delivery, landing in front of Diarmuid Connolly, and an early touch for Paul Flynn, his first appearance for Dublin this year. Good solid hit there from Owen Duffy to stop James McCarthy in his tracks, and now Duffy is happy to run with this. Support outside from Dermot Malone. Scored a goal against Roscommon in the opening round, but that was just outside his range. He didn't make good contact.
Very dangerous as well to drop one short, to particularly Cluxton with the kick passing ability he has to set up counter-attacks.
Cian O'Sullivan happy to go back to come forward, and now John Small. Jack McCaffrey sitting this game out tonight, of course, picked up an injury in the Sigerson Cup final for UCD last Saturday. Well, we saw Dublin play lots of patient, composed football in their win away to Mayo in the second round, as now they break the line. Nice ball to McMahon on the run, up from corner back, and the All-Star shoots on the run and wide.
Yeah, definite bit of rustiness there from Philly O'Mahony. I think you see some of the traits that make him such a dangerous player. You know, the ability to play anywhere on the field and be a threat up the far end, but that's definitely a score you'd expect him to take.
Monaghan play possession football with the kick out, short from Beggan, and into the centre to Fenton Kelly.
It's interesting, you see, even at this stage, we talk about Monaghan getting lots of bodies back. Everyone of the Dublin players is inside, the Monaghan 65, so they're getting lots of bodies back themselves.
Darren Hughes wearing 9. He has started at full forward, trying to make a nuisance of himself there. But down to win that breaking ball went Emmett O'Keneela, starting alongside Bastick in the middle of the field for Dublin tonight. Here's Flynn, left all alone for a moment, and he has support outside. Flynn trying to suck in the defenders. Now he releases the pass. It's Cormac Costello. Dublin players queuing up. And the final shot is high and wild and well wide off the boot of Dean Rock. But for a moment there, Dublin had men over and Monaghan were scrambling.
Yeah, and it was created by Dublin getting all their bodies back and Monaghan defenders following out the field. Then on the turnover, Dublin broke with a quick kick pass, which was really good play by Dublin. They're very disappointed they weren't able to finish it.
Here's Shane Carey. Hit 1-8 for DCU in the Sigerson Cup semi-final last weekend, as Darren Hughes makes his move from the edge of the square. Fitzsimons keeping an eye on him, and Hughes forces the shot. Fitzsimons content to let him shoot, and that goes harmlessly wide.
Yeah, very frantic start there now, so maybe we'll start to see a bit more shape now, but Cluxon, as ever, moves it quickly again.
Well, Dublin, the raging hot favourites to maintain their unbeaten start to this Division 1 campaign tonight. In fact, the odds makers expect them to win this game by at least 4 points. Here's Paddy Andrews. He has Colin Walsh for company. Uses his power to hold off the defender. Lovely, neat turn from Costello into the clear and over the bar. Well, sometimes there just is no substitute for pace, and Costello ties the game up in the 6th minute.
Yeah, really good ball-winning ability guy by Andrews again, and Costello coming in, taking his chance. Mannion had played the first 2 games, Paul Mannion, and that was a really good finish. You know, he showed, naturally right-footed. That avenue was closed down, came back across the goal, and a really good left-footed strike.
Dublin have secured possession from the Monaghan kick-out, and James McCarthy, who has been a real driving force so far this spring, again is happy to carry the fight to Monaghan. But that just got a little too intricate. Ball over carried, free out to Monaghan.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for Monaghan to get a bit of shape, really. Yeah, you see there, Andrews passes it off, and that's really good, sharp feet. Costello has such good movement and speed, and that's a really good left-footed finish.
Possession kicked away by Monaghan. Carelessness, really, deep inside their own half, and ball won back by John Small. And Monaghan just cannot afford to switch off like that against a team like Dublin.
Yeah, and this is a shot to nothing really for Connolly, because Monaghan gets so many bodies back. If he plays it short, it's kind of hard to organise a score, and with his right-footed ability, and not just his accuracy but his actual range, it's worth a shot.
Didn't work out for Dublin. Easy for Beggan. And on the ball is Kieran Duffy. Here's Kieran Hughes, another player starting his first Allianz League game of the season. Carl O'Connell wrapped up by 2 Dublin players. One of them is Dean Rock, the other was Connolly. Just didn't have the power to break the tackle. Here's O'Keneela. Dublin players literally calling for it left and right. Andrews has drifted out to the wing. Man making his move was Dean Rock, tracked by Drew Wiley.
That's very good play by Drew Wiley. He stuck to his task there, and marking somebody like Andrews when you're in the full back line, his movement is so good and his work rate is exceptional. He really uses the whole width of the field. It's a tough job.
Well, he's a very rugged full-back, is Drew Wiley, and I see the referee just speaking to the linesman there.
I'd say he was considering whether it was a deliberate trip. If that was the case, it was a black card, but it looked accidental, but I think it was the right decision, and it definitely free.
So Monaghan get the game moving again. Here's Fenton Kelly, met by a blue wall on that 65-metre line, as Dermot Malone offers himself up as a conduit. Here's Carey. Lovely angled run made by Thomas Kerr, but hit with a shoulder just as he took possession, and that knocked him out of his stride, and away by O'Sullivan. And this is where Dublin are so dangerous, playing on the break. Paddy Andrews again gone out there in search of time and space, trying to take O'Connell on the outside, and the Monaghan man has taken down Andrews in full flight. Now, if that was a deliberate pull down, Carl O'Connell's evening may be over before it's begun. There's certainly a card coming.
Yeah, and you said it yourself, that is where Dublin are so dangerous. If you turn over the ball anywhere there in the middle of the field, like in your own centre-half back position, their kick pass is so good pass out to Andrews, and Andrews is probably, you know, at the present, there probably isn't a better man at taking a man on, other than maybe McMinimum, who's not playing tonight. Yeah, you see here speed, power, and his ball control, and it's a definite pullback. But
so a yellow for O'Connell, a free to Dublin, and up steps Dean Rock. Celebrated his 26th birthday yesterday. He is Dublin's leading scorer in this campaign, but that doesn't have the legs, and out comes Beggan. Monaghan's 6'4" goalkeeper claims that at his ease and sets Fintan Kelly away. A pack of Dublin forwards chasing Kelly, and again Monaghan content to keep the ball and work their way slowly and surely out of their own half.
Yeah, good confident goalkeeping by Beggan, saw his defender in trouble and offered himself up for a pass.
Kieran Hughes, quick look up, slices it out to the far side. Taken by Kerr, spots the run inside of Darren Hughes. McManus wants it, gets it, lovely layoff chance for Carey. Blocked by a Dublin boot, and that took the sting out of the shot, but that was nice and neat from Monaghan, and they very nearly opened Dublin up.
Yeah, it was good play. We've seen a couple of good attacks from Monaghan, and they definitely seem more committed to the quick attack, and it's probably something they've been working on, basically transitioning the ball from defence to attack as quickly as they can. But really, when you get attacks and get in there around the inside the D, you've got to come away with some points.
Well, they don't score that many goals, Monaghan. In fact, they haven't scored a goal here on their last 3 visits to Croke Park. Dublin twice and Tyrone all shutting them out. You get the feeling they'll need at least one to win this game. They've won the ball back, and Owen Duffy once and twice, and a third time involved in the move, but he can't finish with a score, and that's not the first time it's happened in the first 11 minutes.
I think that's 3 on my count, yeah, and it was such good play from Owen Duffy, but I suppose he'd ran 60 metres with the ball, played a couple of 1-2s, and just a bit fatigued at the end of it when it came to the business end.
Good pressure by Drew Wiley. Monaghan committing more players to attack so far than we had expected. McManus out in front. McManus goes for it. That's absolutely brilliant from the Monaghan captain, Conor McManus. That's why he's a 2-time All-Star, and Monaghan's marquee forward, they're back in front.
Yeah, as you saw, as that ball came into him, he accelerated out, got separation between him and the defender, and then if he gets a yard to pull that right, the right foot and take a shot, he's so accurate. An absolute wonderful score.
So Monaghan lead for the second time here at Croke Park. Their defence, though, out of position as Brady threads that through to Andrews. Again, uses his pace to get there in front of Colin Walsh. Walsh trying to recover that lost ground, and he's done it. Now the support arrives as Monaghan circle the wagons across that 45-metre line. Here's James McCarthy, just having a little nibble around the edge of that defensive screen, and now he moves through the gears, still going. Lovely run. McMahon again joins the Dublin attack, and this time hits the target.
Yeah, it's the danger really of playing an extra defender. There you see McCarthy, brilliant at that, coming forward, such a great athlete. And then Philly McMahon finds himself in really a corner forward position, shows a lot of awareness, he knew exactly what to do, turned really well onto a stronger right foot, and a much better finish than the last time. Great score for Dublin.
Ball knocked down by Bastic, and Dublin are on the front foot again. That looked like a throw from Rock, and the linesman on the far side, Eddie Kinsella, spotted it, and it's a free out to Monaghan.
Yeah, it's a good, very good officiating. That's why they're there, working well together.
Well, the first 13 minutes have flown by. They managed to engineer 33 points between them when they played here last spring in the league semi-final. As McManus, who's enjoying himself, goes for it again. That is magnificent from McManus.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you see Keane O'Sullivan, the Dublin sweeper, trying to get across, and he thinks he's his job done. And against most footballers, he would have. That is just absolutely fantastic accuracy from Conor McManus.
McManus again underlining just why he's the go-to man. That's twice now he's kicked inspirational points, and his marker David Byrne powerless to do anything about it. Owen Duffy got out in front of O'Sullivan. Duffy could be in here. Ball flies over the bar. Duffy knows it was a chance, a real chance.
Yeah, really sharp turn by Duffy there. Cian O'Sullivan goes to ground and doesn't pull him down or for fearing the black card. And Duffy, as the defenders were coming across him, I think he was right to go hard and high like that, in the knowledge that even if it crept over, he gets a score.
Well, Monaghan made a very slow start against Roscommon first day out. They have fixed that problem. McManus, loose man. There are gaps appearing everywhere. Darren Hughes has just kicked Monaghan into a 3-point lead. What a flying start from the Ulster champions.
Yeah, the pace Monaghan are playing at is probably something we're not used to seeing from a Monaghan team. They're usually very slow and measured and secure in what they're doing, but they really are playing with a lot of freedom here tonight.
By the looks of things, Monaghan have used that 3-week break from Allianz League activity very wisely.
And the fact, and as I know I've said it a couple of times already, but the fact that they have got 4 points on the board, no, I don't think there's a whole lot in that. But the fact that they've got 2 points on the board, they can come out there liberated. You know, this is a game to nothing really for them. No one's expecting that, and so they can just go out there and play under no pressure.
O'Rourke trying to plot the downfall of Jim Gavin's Dublin tonight. Hasn't managed to do it in his management career with Monaghan so far, but with McManus in this sort of form, anything is possible. What about that? 4 points for McManus, 2 from play, 2 from frees, and he's in one of those moods.
He definitely is. You know, I haven't seen him wearing the orange boots before, but they're definitely working for him tonight. You know, that's just exceptional.
Big raking kick out from Cluxton, and away goes McMahon again. Getting forward tonight at every opportunity. Spots the run of both Rock and Connolly. But Drew Wiley just got a hand to that to take it away from Rock. And Monaghan managed to get it away from danger.
Yeah, really well. It was good play by Drew Wiley, and it was good reading of the situation by Beggan, because he thought about coming out and then decided against it as Wiley had it covered.
Here's Carey, waiting for the arrival of Kerr. Dublin defence again backing off, but Kerr unable to wrap his foot around that ball. But the first 16-17 minutes, Billy Joe, couldn't have gone much better for Monaghan. No. And here they are again. That kick out from Cluxton, dropping right down on top of Hughes. Sells the dummy to Fitzsimons. Monaghan haven't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, Kieran Hughes, you know, attacks the ball very aggressively and then shows a lot of composure here. His left foot, which is the stronger, it was closed down, turns inside onto his right, and a very assured finish. I think what you're seeing here from Dublin is that when they have to go back to basics and try and win a normal kick out, they just don't have that option to go and put it on a big man and try and win the break. And this is what Cluxton's did right down here on Bastick now.
Monaghan are pressing up on the Dublin kick out. They're shutting down the space for Cluxton. And they're sitting on a 5-point lead after the end of the first quarter. Well, they've come here tonight to play, have Monaghan. Here's McCarthy. Connolly, the link man, goes past Fenton Kelly and eventually tugged back by Thomas Kerr. Connolly running hard at the heart of the Monaghan defence, and he manages to draw a foul.
Yeah, it's good use of the advantage rule, but I'm not so sure that the free should be where maybe should be where, if he viewed he was fouled again, but for the original foul was, if that's the case, the free should be brought back to there. But it's another good chance for Dean Rock to draw Dublin a bit closer.
Dean Rock looking for his first score of the night. His account is open. Dublin just stem that tide a little, eat into the deficit.
I think and you see Monaghan's intentions. Good free by Dean Rock. You see intentions. Rory Beggan races to get the ball out again, and Monaghan are on the attack. And I think you're seeing some of the younger players of Monaghan are really enjoying playing at this speed, and they're obviously capable of it. It's just a question of whether they can sustain it for the 70 minutes.
Well, Monaghan have shown over the last few years they're extremely well organised. They have a system and a structure that has seen them become very hard to beat.
And maybe that might be something they might have to go back to in the second half. But the way they're playing at the minute is exhilarating. They're getting loads of bodies back and defending pretty well. But it's the transition to attack that's been impressive.
Nice ball from McMahon to Andrews. A little show and go from the Dublin 14. Andrews backed himself. Just seemed to catch in that gentle breeze. Took the sting out of it. And once more Beggan gets Monaghan moving as quickly as he can. First chance for Neil McAdam to start heading towards the Dublin goal. Now Fintan Kelly. Again, Monaghan being encouraged to join the attack every time they can. But Kelly unable to finish that very positive approach work with a score. Yeah. And had they taken their missed chances, Billy Joe, they could be much further ahead. Yeah,
well, they've dropped a number into the goalkeeper's arms, as we've said, but I think that was the right option. It was, they're driving through the middle of the field, something they've done really, really well tonight. And once you get in or about 35 yards out, you're right to pull the trigger.
Again, Stephen Cluxton unable to find his man. Great pressure play from Monaghan. Angle delivery to Owen Duffy, who's got Philly McMahon on the back foot, takes him on the outside, and that won't count. Owen Duffy's fisted attempt for a point ends up in the back of the Dublin net.
Execution let him down, really. Probably, he done really well to get inside him, and Philly McMahon's blowing hard. He's probably just suffering a bit from the lack of match practice, but Owen Duffy will be disappointed he couldn't get that one right.
Diarmuid Connolly, the playmaker, trying to escape his shadow, Fenton Kelly. Seemed to use the referee there as a decoy, as Dublin managed to work it through the hands to O'Keneela, and that's much better. First point of the evening for Emmett O'Keneela, and the gap closes a little more.
Yeah, and you see there the key thing for Connolly was he draws in four defenders, realises he doesn't have an outlet, passes it to O'Keneela, who steps inside, and a nice left-footed shot. Good play by Connolly too.
Neil McAdam from the Monaghan Harps Club lays it off inside to Shane Carey. One of the new faces getting a chance to impress in the Monaghan team this season. Kieran Hughes telegraphed that pass, asking much too much of Thomas Kerr, and away go Dublin. Here comes the blue wave. Dean Rock, he has McCarthy making up ground on the inside. Monaghan continue to back off. Rock keeps on going, and Dean Rock takes a point on the run. His first from play, his second of the match. Ball turned over by Monaghan, and Dublin make them pay.
Yeah, really, and Dean Rock, it was a 5-on-3 situation there in favour of Dublin. He could have maybe worked to try and get a goal, but considering that you're a couple of points behind, there's no harm, reducing the deficit every chance you get.
Dublin have hit 3 points now in quick succession, and they are reeling Monaghan back in. Paul Flynn starting to get his second win now. Poor delivery, intercepted by Kieran Duffy. Neatly worked out of defence. Monaghan, again, plenty of support runners. Kieran Duffy takes aim, lets fly. Absolutely inch perfect from the wing back from Latin.
That's a real high skill level there, because he's loads of green grass in front of him. He could have travelled with a forward, but obviously very confident in his ability off the outside of his right boot, and an excellent execution of the skill there.
Flawless from Kieran Duffy. And Monaghan restored their 3-point advantage. Here's Cian O'Sullivan. Nothing but open country down along that right wing. Cormac Costello there to take over. Lovely sidestep Goes past 3 defenders and still going. Referee plays the advantage, eventually calls it back. Well, he's got serious wheels, Cormac Costello, and as he moved through the gears there, Monaghan defenders just struggling to keep up.
Yeah, it looked like a couple of defenders hesitated, maybe thought he was going to turn back, and Costello saw the gap in between them and just put the foot down and showed great, I suppose, aggression to get through there, and the Monaghan defenders had no other option but to foul him.
And Thomas Kerr picks up a card for his troubles. Joins Carl O'Connell in the book. But what an embarrassment of riches Dublin have in terms of strike forwards. Missing some big names tonight. One of them, incidentally, Bernard Brogan, is among the subs as Dean Rock gets that scoreboard moving again. And Monaghan's lead beginning to evaporate.
Yeah, well, look, that's what you expect against the All-Ireland champions. Dublin are not only a team full of really skillful players, but they've shown over the last number of years that they're extremely resilient as well.
Monaghan coming away from that collision area with the ball. Darren Hughes managing to win that hard ball out in front of Fitzsimons. And as he laid it off, there was a foul. Well spotted by the referee. A little tug on the arm. Monaghan will have a free in.
Yeah, Hughes is trying to play the advantage of every opportunity, but then again you see the skill level of Conor McManus, because it was his pass into Darren Hughes, and it was absolutely inch perfect, because 3 or 4 Dublin players around him, and it lands right on the chest. And Darren Hughes then shows a lot of ability to turn and put the Dublin defenders under pressure, where he managed to manufacture a free.
Stoppage here as John Small receives some attention. The wing back from Ballymun just picking up a knock as he went to contest that last kick out. But with 10 minutes to go to half time, this game is coming to the boil quite nicely. And there is Dublin's star-studded bench. Brian Fenton, Young Footballer of the Year. Bernard Brogan is there as well. And Johnny Cooper, also a late addition to Dublin's match day 26 just before the start. Here's McManus, waited patiently. His eye is in. That's now 5 points for McManus. 3 frees. And when he fires, Monaghan tend to fire. And so far, so good.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're playing so well and you score so many difficult ones, you take your concentration level dips on the important ones.
Kieran Hughes there just seemed to catch Emmett O'Keneela a little high.
I think it's just he's committed to the tackle on the ball. It's a definite free, possibly a yellow card. Just a bit overzealous in the tackle. Probably should have taken his hand away when he had the opportunity.
That's now 3 yellow cards in this first half for Monaghan. James McCarthy accelerating down this left wing. Always seems to glide across the surface. Small, patched up and good to go again. Monaghan have pulled 14 men back into their own half. 14 men between the ball and Rory Beggan's goal as Dublin take the scenic route. Philly McMahon spots the run inside of Andrews. Always seems to time that run so well. He's away from Colin Walsh, but Walsh has won himself a free out for over-carrying. That's not the first time he's been left flat-footed at the start, Walsh. He's made up the ground and he stopped Andrew in his tracks.
Yeah, he's a very tenacious player and he did really well there, stuck to his guns, and it even looked like that the referee gestured that he felt that maybe Paddy Andrews was holding on to Walsh.
Well, Monaghan have certainly learned how to get results under Malachy O'Rourke these last few seasons, winning 2 of the last 3 Ulster Championships, coming up from Division 3 of the Allianz League. Now at the moment they're down to 14 men. I think Kieran Hughes picked up a knock in that last passage of play and he's receiving treatment off camera as his colleagues try to hold the line. Here's Andrews, laid back by Rock to McMahon, who stays forward and has just kicked his 2nd point of the night.
Yeah, some gegenpressing from the Dublin forwards there, you know, exceptional work rate. They identified that when Conor McManus got the ball, they pressed him really hard, created a turnover, and then McMahon is up there again in an attacking situation and a really good right-footed finish.
Kieran Hughes still receiving attention. It's a 2-point game again here at Croke Park. The winners of this match tonight will go top of Division 1, at least until tomorrow afternoon. Still very early days in the new season, but a lot at stake, and it has been a really enjoyable game so far.
Yeah, it's been refreshing, you know. Kieran Hughes there looks to be in a bit of bother with his ankle, and sometimes when you go from playing on soft surfaces and now to the hard surface of Croke Park, you can jar your ankle a bit not used to it really. But in terms of the way Monaghan have approached this game, I think it's been really refreshing. They've come here with the intention of, you know, trying to adapt their game plan to be more expansive, and I think some of the younger players like Carey and Kerr and O'Connell, players that we might know that much about, are really committed to that style of play and are showing a lot of athleticism.
Monaghan getting ready to make a change. Desi Moan is warming up if Kieran Hughes can't continue.
Yeah, the Dublin fans don't seem to be happy with that decision. A collision between Kerr and Connolly, but you know, I feel if, you know, Kerr puts his hands on the ball and Connolly really is just a fraction late and is making no attempt to play the ball with his hands, and that's the correct decision.
Well, Monaghan have made that change. Desi Moan, 12 years after he made his debut, is in to bring experience and that trademark intensity to the Monaghan team. That's loose from McMahon, asking a lot of David Byrne. Does well. Had to turn quickly there and deal with that situation as Fitzsimons decides to stretch his legs. Here's Bastick trying to knock it over Hughes and out in front of Andrews, but Darren Hughes, who dropped backfield, manages to intercept, and now it's Monaghan's turn to play on the break. Dermot Malone. Hughes had continued his run, trying to play the precision pass, but good tracking there by O'Keneela. Here's Brady. Once more, he's looking for that inside line. Costello, lovely turn. Here's Andrews now. Again, Colin Walsh watches his every move. That's close from Andrews. And luckily for Monaghan, Kieran Duffy in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it's good defending there. You know, everyone seemed to think that it wasn't going to hit the post. It mustn't have been a call, and he reacted to it well. But Dublin are extremely dangerous on those times when Monaghan turn over the ball in the Dublin half-back line, and they've got to be a bit more careful in possession there. So it's Dublin, unbeaten in their last 8 league matches, who have got some work to do. Owen Duffy trying to nudge Monaghan a little further ahead. Another wide for Duffy, another wide for Monaghan. Yeah, it was good play by Carey and Duffy there, where Carey saw that he was coming under pressure and palmed the ball to Duffy. He was going past him. The Dublin defenders are closing in on him, and he just couldn't get the right accuracy on the finish. Ryan Wiley just forcing Cormac Costello wide and backwards. Here's Paul Flynn. Heard the call from Connolly. Just ran into heavy traffic, but nudged in the back, and Dublin will have a free in. Monaghan disappointed in themselves, I think, more than anything there. Looked like they had run Connolly down a cul-de-sac, but Fintan Kelly, perhaps the man who just left the hand in. Yeah, he was travelling at such speed, it probably wouldn't have taken much to knock him over, but there wasn't a whole lot in it. But I think maybe like a half trip as well, but it was hard to see. But I don't think there was anything intentional in it. So all eyes on Dean Rock. 4 points against Mayo and Castlebar 3 weeks ago. 4 points already here at Croke Park.
just the 1 point between them now. 90 seconds of normal time left in the first half.
Yeah, it's been it's flown by. It's been a great half of football, and just the concern you'd have is that as this half has gone on and Dublin have come more into it, you just wonder, can Monaghan continue to play at this pace? If this is something Dublin are used to, it's new to Monaghan.
That's a push in the back of Dermot Malone as he made a run to the shadow of the Hogan stand. Takes the free himself to O'Connell. Cian O'Sullivan just sitting in the pocket. Really has got that sweeper roll off to a fine art, O'Sullivan.
Yeah, I suppose the Monaghan's success has been running through the middle, and then some of the ball going in has been so good, and the angles that McManus has shot from have been so acute that he hasn't been able to impact the game as he normally would.
Dublin having to think their way now through this particular challenge tonight. Got off to a very slow start. But slowly and surely Jim Gavin's team have managed to lay themselves back into contention. And now Dean Rock has a chance to tie the match up as we head into first half stoppage time. We're going to have at least 2 minutes. Rock takes great care, takes all the time he needs, and we're level again at Croke Park. Well, Dublin have soaked up everything that Monaghan have thrown at them, have given them a head start in so many ways, and now we're right back at square one again.
Yeah, they've really started to play after that 15-minute period, and sometimes to stay in a game when you're playing against an opponent that's playing really well like Monaghan are, you got to rely on your free taking and stuff like that, and Dean Rock has been practically flawless.
Thomas Kerr, nothing obvious on short, goes for his own score. But if Monaghan do come out on the wrong side of the result tonight, Billy Joe, they will look back on some of these first half wides as ones that got away. They have kicked them from everywhere and anywhere. Yeah,
well, that was probably down to shot selection. I know he has that ability. He's got a couple of points off the outside of his route in the first league game against Roscommon, but that one you felt that he had a pass on inside into Hughes or McManus.
Certainly Dublin's Stephen Cluxton having to earn his corn tonight. Nothing obvious for him with the kickouts, long or short. Monaghan have certainly done their homework. Paddy Andrews this time gets in front of Walsh, and this time gets his free. But they are having some battle in there, in that full forward line.
Yeah, and Walsh is extremely tight there, and he looks to lose his balance, and it's just as the ball's coming in and he goes through the back run, it's a definite free. But I don't think there's anything intentional. And when you think how well Monaghan have played, they could go in here, point down if Rock lands this one, and that will really be, that'll knock their confidence, you would think, because they've played so well in this first half.
Well, of course, experience has taught Dublin how to break down and short-circuit the sort of defensive system that Monaghan and others often employ against them. As Dean Rock this time leaves it on the floor, same result. 6 points from Dean Rock, and the perfect end to the first half for the defending Allianz League and All-Ireland champions Dublin. Monaghan have played so much of the football, but they go in at the break behind. It's all to play for. At half-time, Dublin lead Monaghan by 10 points to 9. We'll have first half analysis from Senan Connell and Aaron Kernan after the break. Welcome back. Monaghan just joining Dublin out on the field ahead of this second half. Both managers have made changes by the looks of things. Monaghan have brought in Connor Boyle, number 18, with Ryan Wiley, the player to make way, while Dublin have introduced Shane Carthy from the Nave Marnock club in Portmarnock. Also came in at half-time against Mayo last time out, and the player who has been replaced, Dennis Bastick. So both Malachy O'Rourke and Jim Gavin mixing it up a little ahead of the start of this second half. Monaghan, the visitors, they'll play from right to left as you look at it. And despite leading by 5 points at the end of the first quarter, the Ulster champions now find themselves one down facing into this second half. That's a loose pass from Kieran Duffy. And you were mentioning it, Billy Joe, during the half-time break. It will be a big test of Monaghan's stamina and conditioning now, facing into the most athletic and best conditioned team in the country for the second 35 minutes, as Connolly looks to kick one for the scrapbook, and that is Dublin's third wide.
Yeah, because Dublin were exceptional in the third quarter against Kerry. They really raised the tempo, and it's something that Monaghan are just going to have to hang on in here and try and just contain it for as long as they can and not make silly mistakes. And that was a very two loose hand passes to start this half, and that's the sort of thing Dublin will capitalise on.
Dublin, who have hit 8 of the last 10 points in this match, starting now to apply the full court press again. Early touch there for Shane Carthy. And now Tomas Brady dinking that ball in front of Rock. He's played well tonight, Dean Rock.
Yeah, he's been exceptional with his frees, and he's worked hard, and he's been very good in possession and used it well and laid off the better man when at the right time. But what you see there in the Dublin is something they've developed, is their patience in their game. Monaghan had load him in back. Rock makes a really good run because he's starting so deep, so he's actually collecting the ball just outside the D, and as a free it should be a simple enough score for him. But that's all down to Dublin's patience and Rock's intelligence to make his run from deep enough.
Has become a regular in recent seasons under Jim Gavin, has Dean Rock, and that is now 7 points, 6 frees and 1 from play.
Yeah, one of the things that we'll be looking at in this second half is, Philly McMahon had such a big impact coming forward in that first half, and again he looks to be playing in the half-back line, picking up Dermot Malone, and you can be damn sure that Dermot Malone heard about it in the half-time, that he can't afford to lose track of Philly McMahon down the far end of the field.
This game, by the way, being watched by a crowd of 17,080 people here at Croke Park. Important touch from Fitzsimons there. Sets John Small away. And once more Dublin just try to stretch that Monaghan defence. Tomas Brady heard the call of Rock. Playing with great confidence tonight, the Ballymun corner forward, as Andrew sprays it all the way back out the field. And Dublin are right back where they started, 2 up, and in no particular hurry to kick this ball away. Rock, good hand in from Kieran Duffy. Rock does well. O'Keneela, target practice for the Dublin number 9, and he's missed the target.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that one. It was really quick hands by Dean Rock there, just showing his unselfish side. He came out and won the ball well, and then when he couldn't get the initial layoff, he turned inside and on his knees hit a good hand pass.
Padraig Hughes has just used this stoppage to grab a quick word with the Monaghan cornerback Colin Walsh, an all-star back in 2013, and now in the book, the 4th Monaghan player to be booked tonight.
You get the feeling it's a critical stage for Monaghan here now. They really need to get a bit of a foothold in this second half, and just even to contain Dublin for some minutes, because you just get the feeling that if they make any more mistakes, Dublin are going to start capitalising on them, and then there'll be too much to claw back.
Just 1 point from Monaghan in a little over 20 minutes. 1 point from play, that is. Here's Desi Moan. Came in midway through that first half for Kieran Hughes. Big hit, Fitzsimons colliding in the air with Shane Carey. Both men able to get back to their feet, thankfully. Both had eyes only for the ball, and Fitzsimons catching Carey on the follow-through.
Yeah, it's just both really committed to the tackle, and it's excellent bravery by Fitzsimons. Kept his eye on the ball and carried it all the way, or held on to it all the way to the ground.
Here's Shane Carthy knocking in an old-fashioned up and under. Broken down by Beggan. Flynn goes down in the square, and it's a penalty. Well, it was clumsy more than malicious, but the Dublin forward was taken out as he went for that ball, and Pádraig Hughes immediately blew the whistle. And this could be a major turning point.
Yeah, Paul Flynn, he got quite a heavy knock there. He looked to be first to the ball, hadn't been able to gain possession of it. He looks to be first there. Yeah, and there's no real tackle there, just as Paul Flynn's about to take possession of the ball. Correct decision. Again, Flynn is there.
Paul Flynn is still receiving attention. Of course, he's only back in the Dublin team tonight. Took some time out to rest a groin injury that had been troubling him at the tail end of last season. Dublin supporters will be delighted to see him, though, back in his feet. But there was so much happening when that ball broke from Rory Beggan. Flynn put himself in a position to try and win the break. And as soon as he went down, the referee, who had a very good view of it, was in immediately. And now Rory Beggan is tasked with trying to keep Monaghan in this game. They've only conceded one goal so far in the Alliance League. That was from a penalty against Roscommon's Kieran Murtha. Dublin are bringing in a substitute, Bernard Brogan.
Yeah, could even be a blood sub. It looks like Paul Flynn is getting some treatment on the sideline.
So a watershed moment here at Croke Park. Beggan against Diarmuid Connolly. And that's how you take a penalty. Low and hard, sent Beggan the wrong way. Dublin break the deadlock. Yeah,
a lot of composure. You know, he had to wait a bit of time there. Standing over the ball sometimes can unnerve people, but not somebody as cool as Diarmuid Connolly. And Beggan goes the wrong way and he just keeps it low. Gets the job done.
Cool, calm and composed from Connolly, and Dublin streak into a 5-point lead as the Hills start to crank up the volume down there behind Stephen Cluxton's goal. And now we're going to find out what Monaghan are made of.
Yeah, this is the real character test for Monaghan. They've played well. They've already learnt a lot about themselves in these first 42 minutes. But really, if they're going to get anything from this game, they've got to dig in here now for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and even just survive these next 10 minutes. And to regroup might be just a start.
Certainly there have been a couple of occasions in the last few years when Monaghan have been blitzed by Dublin. Here in the Championship a couple of years back, and of course up in Clonus last spring. And what a transformation we've had in this game. Monaghan tipping along, 5 points up after 17 minutes, and now 5 down with a little under a half an hour to play.
Yeah, and again, clever play by McManus. He recognises the ball is going to bounce over his head. He slows himself up, and Fitzsimons just really runs into the back of him. And it probably is a slight push in the back. But this is a very important score for Monaghan now. They've got to get the scoreboard ticking themselves. But you'd see the way they can get back into this game is by feeding McManus as much as they can.
Kick 2, superb points from play early on. That is now a total of 6 for McManus tonight. 4 frees to go with those couple of scores from play. And it is, as Billy Joe said, just enough to get the scoreboard moving again, keeps them in touch. Here's Andrews. Comes onto that ball at pace and with great strength. O'Keneela riding the challenge of Fenton Kelly. Plenty of willing and able support men. One of them is Shane Carthy. Again, the delivery is low down towards the bootlaces of Bernard Brogan. Back back in the Dublin team after an injury layoff as well. This is his first appearance of the new season. Darren Hughes rifling that ball in towards McManus, but McManus, I think, just telling him it wasn't where he needed it to be. He was outnumbered there 3-1, McManus, playing up front on his own at the moment. O'Sullivan releases that ball at the perfect moment to Carthy. But it's that man, Drew Wiley, back minding the house for Monaghan. Rugged, abrasive, and so hard to get past. McAdam wasn't expecting that challenge from O'Keneela, and the Monaghan number 8 has gone down just after he released that ball.
Yeah,
Dublin have certainly upped the ante and upped the intensity now since half-time.
Yeah, they're much more aggressive in the tackle, and it looked like McAdam there, you know, got a clash in his head. Yeah, a shoulder into the side of his head there, and he initially reacted. And I suppose it's good refereeing, considering you're worried about concussion and that you stop the game quickly and so you can get treatment.
Dublin manager Jim Gavin rolling out the big gun that is Bernard Brogan early in this second half after Paul Flynn picked up an injury. And we're hearing now from the sideline, Billy Joe, that he's going to stay in there, Brogan. And what an asset. Yeah. What a piece of artillery to have on your subs bench.
Yeah, and it's been choreographed perfectly for Jim Gavin. You know, Paul Flynn gets 40 good minutes into him, and then you bring Bernard Brogan on to... And, you know, really, he's a nightmare for Monaghan defenders coming on, because he'll be eager to get on the ball and you know, get back into the swing and things. And as defenders tire, no better man to take advantage of that than Bernard Brogan.
Game about to restart. Malachy O'Rourke has made a change. Owen Duffy has been withdrawn from Monaghan's attack, and a very different type of player. Ryan McAnespie is in for the last 25 minutes or so. He scored 2 points from wing back against Down, dropped for tonight and has a point to prove. And here is McAnespie wanting to get involved right from the get-go. Conor Boyle, another of the substitutes. McAdams sitting in the pocket, and now McAnespie again. There's a blue wall in front of Carl O'Connell. Head down and drives for the crossbar, and he's been pulled back. Well, Monaghan injecting some pace into the move, and to be precise, McAnespie and O'Connell, and it's worked.
Yeah, and that's something that worked for them well in the first half. They put the Dublin defenders under pressure, and in order to do that you have to move quickly in yourself and have good lines of running, but the ball has to move so that you can come onto the ball at pace, and that's good playing.
Converted by Conor McManus. And now it's just that penalty from Diarmuid Connolly that separates the teams, despite the fact, and in a little over half an hour, Monaghan have been outscored here at Croke Park by 1-9 to 4 points. But they're still very much in this.
Yeah, and they've responded well the last couple of minutes, and hopefully some of their substitutions can give them a bit of more energy around the middle third, because that's where Dublin are so strong.
Darren Hughes doing the fetching and the carrying for Monaghan there out around the middle of the field. So versatile, of course. He's once played in goal for the Monaghan senior team. Now spending his time double jobbing between full forward and midfield. Well, a little descent there, I think, from Emmett O'Keneela, and extra yardage.
Yeah, and Jim Gavin, that's something that Jim Gavin, you know, it infuriates all managers, because it really turns a shot that's, you know, not a high percentage into one for somebody like Conor McManus that you would expect him to get.
McManus, high, straight and true. 8 points for the best forward to come out of Clontibret and Monaghan for many, many years. And now the gap is back to 2. The break won by McAnespie. Monaghan having something of a purple patch. Malone, McAnespie again involved. So much pace and so many tricks, the Monaghan substitute. As does this man, McManus. Dangerous one. Batted down by McMahon, a chance for Kerr, off the post, and Cluxton relieved to see it roll into his arms. The shot from Shane Carey very nearly trickling into the Dublin net.
Yeah, Shane Carey actually took up a great position as the ball was coming round in front for the break, and Philly McMahon mishandled it. And I think it was Philly that got back and got a hand on it to deflect it onto the post.
Well, Stephen Cluxton knew very little about that, and Monaghan denied by the post. 20 minutes to go, and this game is now very much in the fire.
Yeah, excellent block by Phil McMahon after making the initial mistake with the mishandling, and very unlucky there for Monaghan.
Here's Andrews, still full of running, still the focal point of that Dublin attack, but he turned into a very crowded area. Monaghan had got men back, and now they'll break. Two men going for the one ball. Kieran Duffy to McAdam. And here's Darren Hughes. Monaghan need to run this. There's nobody at home in their full forward line. McAnespy. The pass needs to be precise, and Shane Carey just couldn't get there. Good pressure again by Philly McMahon.
Yeah, it's a typically all-action display from Philly McMahon. Up one in, getting scores, down the back, making goal-saving blocks. You know, he can be really happy with his 50 minutes so far.
Two battle-hardened and streetwise teams going at it as Brogan pulls the trigger. Just rushed the shot, understandably a little ring-rusty. And it's that man, McAnespy, again, who has really sparked Monaghan to life, who finds Darren Hughes. John Small is trying to stand him up. McAnespy had made his move. Hughes played the ball behind him, and Dublin can now break. It's an awfully long way back for Monaghan as they try to sprint back into position.
And this is something that Dublin have added to their game, you know, that if they can't, you know, have the quick counter-attack, they've got a lot of patience, and they move it from side to side and wait for the right movement where 2 or 3 quick passes can create the scoring opportunity.
McCarthy just ambling through and giving it to O'Keneela. Swings a left boot at it. And that is away for Dublin's third wide of this second half. They're 5th in all. Dublin making a double substitution as we watch that goal chance for Carey that was denied by the fingertips of Philly McMahon. So Johnny Cooper into the Dublin defence with Michael Fitzsimons making way, and Paul Flynn is on to replace Tomas Brady. So Flynn worked on by Dublin's medical team and slots back into the half-forward line. So fresh legs into the Dublin team with less than a quarter of the game to go. Here's McManus taking David Byrne for a run and shrugging him aside as well. Trying to make an angle. John Small got back, and that was enough to just get into McManus's eye line, and Cluxton again is able to start Dublin on the attack.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth noting, the information we were getting was that Paul Flynn was coming in for Tomas Brady, but in fact Bernard Brogan has left the field, and there seems to be a little confusion on the sideline. Yeah,
Tomas Brady's still on the pitch, so maybe they're just going to wait and get that carry out that substitution now in the next break of play.
Cross wires, I think, on the Dublin sideline. Well, it's Paul Flynn's number that is being shown.
Yeah, Paul Flynn is still on the field.
Well, right now Dublin have got 16 players on the field.
Yeah, Tomas Brady is. They're showing Tomas Brady's number now, 12, and it looks like this is the substitution they want to make, and he's coming off. There, sometimes with the blood substitutions, they didn't even get it right themselves.
eventually it all works out, and it's Tomas Brady who is replaced after all of that. So away we go again. Dublin lead by 2. Brogan trying to release Connolly in behind the cover, but there was too much on the pass.
Yeah, and Monaghan have definitely got to grips with these last 10 minutes, and got the deficit back to 2 points when really could have ran away from them. So I was speaking about character, and they're definitely showing it. You probably do think though that they need to get a period of sustained pressure to get enough scores, because Dublin looks very, very dangerous on some of these counter-attacks.
Well, it's been an intriguing game so far, and it's not over yet. And as Monaghan were building that attack, Cork Hughes has spotted a pull on a jersey. It was Johnny Cooper who fouled Dermot Malone off the ball, and this is going to be a very kickable free now for Conor McManus as Monaghan bring in Conor McCarthy, young player who won a Sigerson Cup medal with UCD last weekend. He was an outstanding county minor, and it was the man that was fouled there, Dermot Malone, who's been replaced. Well, they rate McCarthy very highly in Monaghan. They rate McManus higher than anybody else, and he has left us now with the tantalising prospect of a 1-point game with less than 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, they rate McManus highly everywhere. He's that sort of footballer, and he's been very consistent on his frees today after a couple of, I suppose, missed a few he wouldn't normally miss in the first 2 rounds of the league. But when you get to the Croke Park and the big stage, he's back doing what he usually does.
Here's Flynn, steadies down, takes aim. His first of the night was worth waiting for. Well, at one stage it looked like he'd have to limp out of the game, but he's mad for action, and he's just kicked Dublin 2 up again. Yeah,
Bernard Brogan, gets out in front, good ball, passes, the combination has happened so many times over the years, lays it off to Paul Flynn, and something that Paul Flynn has really got good at over the years, his finishing is really, really good.
Flynn becoming the 6th Dublin player to score in the match tonight. But if the defending champions are going to win this and maintain their unbeaten start to Division 1, they're going to have to earn it. Monaghan asking them a lot of difficult questions.
Yeah, they sure are. They're keeping in it, and I think this is, whatever happens in these last 15 minutes or so, Malachy will be very happy with what Monaghan have done here tonight. But it'd be even bigger boost for some of the young players in this Monaghan team if they could actually get a win.
A third-man tackle there by Drew Wiley on Paul Flynn, and I think spotted by the linesman Eddie Kinstala initially, who alerted the referee to it. Again, the officials working well together. Flynn is hurt as Dublin bring in Philly Ryan from St. Bridget's again to try and keep Monaghan guessing. And there's a card coming here by the looks of things, Billy Joe. The big question is the colour.
Yeah, he's discussing with Eddie Kinstala, and it looks like as the ball he's taken out of it there, that's a third-man tackle as clear as you can see it, and that looks like that'll be a black card.
Well, the rules are very clear now. If that was interpreted as a deliberate body collide, then Drew Wiley would be black carded, but referee is taking no further action.
No, I think that's the wrong decision. Drew Wiley, he had only eyes for Paul Flynn.
Here's Cormac Costello, has drifted out the field to get on that ball again and get that Dublin attack moving. Andrews, Flynn, Brogan stripped of the ball, just not as sharp as he will be later on in the season, Bernard Brogan, as Carl O'Connell breaks the tackle and referee plays the advantage. Here's Fenton Kelly now. Everybody tightly marked inside as Thomas Kerr keeps the Monaghan move alive. Monaghan's turn to be patient as Dublin flood their defence. The kick from long range over that blanket backline is high and wide. from Conor McCarthy, but he had run out of options.
That's something that Dublin have improved on dramatically in the last 18 months. They're really patient in defence now, keeping teams out, and when they get an initial attack stopped and get them going from side to side, they show great patience and leave Monaghan really with no other options there but a long range shot.
Dublin just about keeping Monaghan at arm's length. Of course, after tonight they have 2 home games remaining in this Division 1 campaign. Cork coming to the capital next Saturday night, and Donegal also return to Croke Park for round 6. Nice ball from Philly Ryan, but beaten away by Colin Walsh. And there's that transition again out of their own defence that Monaghan do so well. Thomas Kerr, the wing forward from Ballybay, gets his head up, spots the run of Darren Hughes, taken out of the air by Hughes, holds off O'Sullivan. Advantage being played. Play is going to be brought back for the free into Monaghan.
Yeah, Kerr obviously has a lot of ability off his right boot. We've seen him in the first half with a couple of ambitious shots, but you see there, he angles that one perfectly and puts Cian O'Sullivan in a very difficult situation. Darren Hughes keeps his eyes on the ball, collects it, and then O'Sullivan, in his efforts to try and get back at the ball, fouls him. But it all set up by an excellent crossfield ball by Kerr.
Cian O'Sullivan yellow carded for that pullback on Darren Hughes, as Conor McManus steps up to the plate and has now hit 10 points out of Monaghan's total of 14, and they're still in this. And unless things change dramatically very soon, Billy Joe, this is going the distance.
Yeah, and things can change very quickly. We saw a great game between Kerry and Dublin a number of years ago in the Northern semi-final, where Dublin scored, win the game by 7 points in the space of a couple of minutes. But Monaghan put themselves in an absolutely fantastic position. They would be delighted if you'd asked them to give them 10 minutes to go and to only be a point down. They would have taken it, and it's great to see for them that there's a lot of their younger players that are really stepping up to the mark at this stage in the game.
It's worth remembering Monaghan finished like a train away to Roscommon in round 1 to pip the Rossies at the post in Kiltoom. What have they got left in the tank now? Here's Drew Wiley up from defence, but seemed to get caught in at least 2 minds there and coughed up the ball very easily, as Jim Gavin gets ready to bring in Brian Fenton with 8 minutes to go. Time and space for Cormac Costello in front of the Cusack stand. Here's Connolly, the man who scored the only goal of the night from a penalty. Again, Monaghan so tenacious and tigerish in the tackle, as Ryan McAnespy fills in as playmaker. Just one man to aim at up top. That one man is McManus. He's won it. He's got the shot off, and he's levelled the game again. So often a one-man band up front for Monaghan. He leads the line better than anybody else. It's all square with 7 to go.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic there. 50-50 ball. He knows it's going to break. He's ready for the break. He picks it up and uses all his awareness. Move from his left side to his right side, and a really good finish. He's been top class. 11 points for Monaghan's main man, Conor McManus. Now it's all to play for. Andrews. Support slow in arriving. Andrews needs to hold this up. Now it's Cormac Costello. Monaghan with 13 men behind the ball, and Dublin once more content to be patient and probe for an opening. Here's Shane Carthy, trying to inch forward towards the scoring zone. Connolly. Excellent challenge from Fenton Kelly, and Thomas Kerr is in to win the break. This is what the Monaghan crowd came to see. Remember, they haven't beaten Dublin in the league for 10 years. Here's McManus.
really enjoying himself. Shoots for another spectacular score, but that one is wide and ends up in the hill. The next score may well win this.
Yeah, you're looking. We spoke about Dublin's composure in the first half, and they've got to show it again here now. But you don't blame Conor McManus for taking a shot like that, because he has got that ability.
Brian Fenton is in for Dublin. Here's James McCarthy making an incision. Back to Brogan. Brogan to kick Dublin back in front. Wide on his own side. Both sides creating chances. One waiting for the other to blink.
Yeah, it's really tense now here at this stage, and you just saw good movement then again from McCarthy then to set up a shot for Brogan, and you would get the feeling then the height of summer Brogan finishes that one. It's just a bit of rustiness to let him down.
Well, Monaghan wins here at Croke Park, few and far between over the years. They've put themselves in a really good place here. They've won a free in, and it's McManus again making a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, this is just pure ability, knowing what to do in the right situation. Gets out in front and halts his run, waits for the contact, and it's an inevitable push because David Byrne is under pressure. But really clever play from McManus. You're seeing all aspects of quality forward play, the finishing and just the awareness and just the ability to use your body well in the right situations.
Well, again, both Malachy O'Rourke and Jim Gavin making changes. Daniel McKenna is into the Monaghan attack. Dublin have introduced Shane Carthy from St. Vincent's to join Shane Carthy from Naomh Marnock. And with 4 minutes to go, Conor McManus, who has kicked 11 points tonight, has this chance to put Monaghan back in front. The kick from McManus is good. He hasn't missed a line all night.
Yeah, he's been rock solid. Shane Carey's leaving the field there for Monaghan, and he's done an excellent job in the second half, because basically he's been tasked with just marking Philly McMahon and stopping making that impact in the attacking area of the field, and he's done that. So it'll be up to McKinnon now to keep an eye on McMahon should he attack.
Ball turned over. McAnespie to O'Connell. And when the pressure came on, he's thrown the ball. That was an excellent chance for Monaghan to create an overlap, to create a chance. Now they're on the back foot. It's Flynn. Brilliantly done by Colin Walsh. And the roar of the Monaghan crowd ringing in his ears. They're outnumbered here, as you would expect, in Dublin's backyard, but they're making themselves heard. And their team lead by 1 with 3 minutes of normal time to go.
Yeah, and Colin Walsh had a real difficult start to the game because Paddy Andrews was doing so well. But at the end of the first half, and then all through the second half, he's been excellent. Getting out in front, being aggressive, doing the things he does really well.
It's worth remembering Dublin have only been beaten here in the Allianz League once in the last 3 years. That was by Cork, who beat them here twice in the group stages.
I think that what Monaghan have done here tonight will give a lot of other teams confidence coming to Croke Park, telling them that if you can defend well enough in numbers but can, counter-attack effectively, you've got a chance against Dublin.
Andrews to Costello to tie it up again, and Cormac Costello holds his nerve, and it's stalemate once more.
Yeah, Andrews wins the ball really, really well, makes a bit of space, good left-handed hand pass out to Costello, who had a lovely angle of running coming in, and a good left-footed shot.
Two teams who made perfect starts to the Allianz League this season, clocking up 2 quick-fire wins, are locked together here in round 3. Will we have a winner? The break is won by Flynn. Nobody does it better. Plays the 1-2, takes the return, and again he runs in to a cluster of Monaghan defenders who got in around him, shut him down, and managed to break up the attack. Yeah,
Monaghan didn't really work that situation very well. 2 men under the dropping ball for the kick out, and Flynn picks up the break, but they've got an opportunity now to attack down this left-hand side.
Man on the ball is Thomas Kerr. Drilled in long and high by McAnespie. Here's Darren Hughes. Hughes has gone for it. But from the moment that ball left his boot, you could tell he wasn't happy.
Yeah,
forces the shot and wide.
Yeah, in that situation, really, you got to give it to the guy that's hot there. And Conor McManus was right beside him, and he's probably just given it to him. Even that Dublin players will be so anxious when he get the ball, he could, maybe win a free or something and just slow this game up.
Cormac Costello again is the link between defence and attack for Dublin. The champions trying to get their shooters into position. Brogan just mistimed his jump, and Drew Wiley back to take care of the housekeeping in front of his goal. Reads the game so well, the Monaghan fullback, and another Dublin chance is gone.
Yeah, no, the whole Monaghan full-back line has actually played better in this second half than they did in the first half. And they're in possession here now. Can either team create a chance that could quite possibly win this game?
We're going to have at least 4 minutes of additional time. Will a game breaker emerge for Dublin or Monaghan? Who will be top of the Division 1 league table tonight? McKenna with the delivery, and that was an important touch from David Byrne. They're looking for McManus every time. Will he turn out to be the match winner like he has been so many times in the past? Coming forward for Dublin, Shane Carthy from Vincent's. Here's Bernard Brogan, manages to win it, kicks for the lead, score! Well, he won the ball, and has he won the match? That is absolutely brilliant from Brogan.
Yeah, and it's one of Brogan's greatest skills. He had a couple of wides early on, but he's instant memory loss, forgot it at all, turned inside, and no hesitation to shoot. Excellent leadership, excellent play, Bernard Brogan.
Well, he's been there and he's done that so many times for Dublin. And have they hit the front at just the right time? Still 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Bernard Brogan, that no matter how the game is going for him, he never shirks a shot and always takes it, and that was the right option. That's black card here for Philly Ryan.
Well, Philly Ryan, who came into the match 10 or 15 minutes ago for Dublin, is leaving it again.
In this situation where you can't get the sub on straight away, Dublin are down to 14 men, Monaghan need to capitalise.
Can Monaghan get back on terms one more time? Daniel McKenna has the pace to get away from McMahon. Lays it back as far as Conor Boyle. Monaghan aren't going to get too many more chances. They need to make this one count. It's Fenton Kelly. Well, that ball seemed to slice off his boot, and Stephen Cluxton, I think, was letting it go wide, but Darren Hughes came from nowhere to keep it in play.
Yeah, he was totally unaware that he was there, but you got Fenton Kelly really rushed the blood to the head. He should have tried to move that ball along and show a bit more patience. They could have created something.
Cormac Costello, a switched wing, still full of running, the Dublin number 15. Brought that ball though into the tackle, and Carl O'Connell has given away a line ball. Looked like he'd executed the steal perfectly, but the linesman Eddie Kinsella felt ball and man were over the line. Possession back to Dublin. Yeah, crucial call.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial, particularly with only a couple of minutes left, and it's going to take some time off the clock. And Cormac Costello's down hurt. It looks like he could have an injury to his head. So this will just take more time off the clock from on, and it'll frustrate them a little bit.
Well, Dublin have played a lot of composed and controlled football to put themselves in a match-winning position. But have they done enough? Yeah,
the last touch, I think it's the right decision, but it looks like Costello has some blood. And in a situation like this, when he's so close to the sideline, Monaghan will be feeling aggrieved that they should just, Costello should just step out off the field of play and things can move on.
Monaghan lost last year's league semi-final to Dublin by a single point. They have pushed them to the pin of their collar again here. But are they going to run out of time? McCarthy. Here's John Small. Dublin trying to run down the clock now as much as anything. And there are a few teams better than Dublin at playing keep ball at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and it's something Monaghan have to try and push out. Their legs are burning at this stage. You know, they've put in so much effort. We're worried about their conditioning. It's been fantastic. They've had a full 74-minute effort. But as you said, Dublin are such a good team in possession, and they have the confidence to play back and over and keep the ball like this. It might be pretty at times. It can be risky if you lose it, but it's the right thing to do to run down the clock.
We are now into the 5th minute of added time, and Monaghan somehow have to try and get the ball back. Dublin's Davy Byrne wrapped up. Monaghan chasing shadows. The champions have got a free, and that was expertly done.
Yeah, it was risky. It was risky. If the Monaghan probably, after all that chasing, were just probably a bit overzealous in their tackle and maybe looked a bit of a soft one, but sometimes the ball carrier gets the benefit of the doubt. You know, considering the area of the field it was, if he was done for overcarrying, you'd think a probably drawn game with the way McManus is kicking the ball.
Well, some bookkeeping for the referee to take care of, and Conor McManus goes in the book in the 6th minute of stoppage time.
Yeah, he was very frustrated with that last free. It looked a bit soft.
12 points he's kicked for Monaghan tonight. They've relied on him very heavily, and they've come up just short. Dublin get the job done again. That's 16 games between league and championship since Dublin were last beaten, and their impressive record here at Croke Park continues. Billy Joe Patton, who stood out for you?
Yeah, well, look, Dublin have had a number of fine players, but really the standout performer is on the losing side here today. Conor McManus has been exceptional. He's been exceptional in everything he's done. You know, he's had the brunt of the attack and threat for Monaghan. His frees have been excellent, and then just some of the kicking from the tight angles has been just fantastic, an absolute joy to watch. People are always saying that you don't see the skill level in Gaelic football anymore, but Conor McManus exhibited loads of it here tonight, not just in his ability, but even in his ability to win frees and his leadership. Fantastic. It's very harsh on a fellow like that after a performance like that to come out on the losing side.
Well, as always at Croke Park here, Conor McManus has put in a big shift. 12 points for the team captain.